let me kind of locate myself before before making my 3 points. So I teach in an architecture college, which a group of us have founded. So it's completely private, all right, and it's professional. Uh, so it is regulated heavily by the state government as well as the central government as well as the university in my state of Maharashtra. Uh, it is professional college in the sense that it is, it gives you a professional degree. Uh, but architecture as a discipline itself is professional, but it's also engineering, but also artistic, and it's a fuzzy field more or less, where knowledge is not consolidated as yet. So people spoke about post-colonial knowledge systems. Yes, we are also, in some sense and in many senses, in a hangover of colonial knowledge systems, which kind of, which we are still haven't shaken off our system. Uh, the simple, straightforward example is our language does not fit into the legal regimes of this country. For example, I'm not able to kind of defend the idea of experience of space in any court of law. Okay, so this is my problems with the language and stuff like that. So it's a fuzzy field. Uh, Private institution, we my institution is amongst the 400 other private institutions that exist in the country, which are totally 500. So we are around 80% of this, of architectural education in this country is done by private education institutions. Uh, One thing I must say about private education systems, in 1991, we had 90 schools of architecture, largely by state agencies. In 2011, we had 170, so the number doubled in the next 20 years. And these were run by politicians and developers. Between 2011 and 2018, uh, 350 colleges got added, in 8 years. So it kind of, it became 500 colleges. And these are by mainstream industrial houses, looking at education not as a philanthropic activity anymore, but as a mainstream money making enterprise. So that's clear. That's happened in the last 8 years or so. It's not 91, it is 2011 onwards. uh, uh, One thing I must tell regarding Maharashtra, the professional education is completely regulated. Our intake is centralized, sent by the government, but the technical board kind of, regulates who comes into the school. The fees are regulated completely. They are told to us that you can charge so much fees. Uh, and the syllabus is regulated by the university. So private institutions have not much kind of leeway to play around. Plus, uh, there are gatekeeping institutions like the Council of Architecture in our case, uh, you know, like many other gatekeeping institutions. So if you do not have a degree, you cannot perform, or you cannot call yourself as an architect, or you cannot undertake the activities of an architect. So I cannot kind of shrug myself away from this university state systems also. The state universities, for example, Mumbai University today has 25 colleges of architecture and 800 other schools. It does not give me any, access to good resource people. It does not give me access to good library systems. No resource, nothing. It gives me a degree. They come for inspection, which are very easy inspections really. So the universities, the state university, more than being a regulator to kind of give degrees, there is nothing more really attached to them. The question of justice is very strange for us at the moment, because in Maharashtra we follow 50% reservations, 27% ST, SC, NT, and remaining OBC, and we have a new Maratha category, which is an additional to this 50%. Uh, we do not get SC, ST, NT students to fill the seats also. All right. The fees of SC, ST, NT are fully paid by the government. OBC half fees are paid. OBC gets filled up very quickly. Uh, we have usually in architecture more than 60% students are women. Uh, However, if you look at post degree performances, women led or SC ST NT led practices are 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 almost not there. They're very few. So though they are getting educated, they remain in either in the as office staff or do not practice at all. In a city which has 25% Muslims and 4% Christians, we have one Muslim student. In the current 5 years, this has happened despite all our admissions being done by the state. We have 1% population of Jains, Gujarati Jains in the city, but our school is filled with 20% Gujarati Jains. It shows something about what is happening and stuff like that. Uh, so all of this is kind of built into the reservation systems, etc. The environmental and economic justice issues are programmatically built into our syllabus in many ways. So this is as far as from where I'm coming. I'll take 2 minutes to make my other 3 points. uh, as a private institution, we decided not to engage with the question of mass education, because we thought that with our resources, with our kind of constraints and boundaries and our limits, we will not be able to engage with the questions of mass education, and it has to be done by the state. It has to be done by the government itself. However, uh, we can focus on other dimensions of education and the dimensions regarding new knowledge systems, etc. though we though we were not about mass, uh, as a policy, we also decided that we will not allow a single student to kind of not complete education because of financial problems in our school. And that was possible because we are a very small school, and we get money from wherever and everywhere to kind of to support students. uh, my last point is about the content, what we are focusing on. And uh, even though our syllabus is completely regulated by the university, there is enough space to maneuver within it. And the questions of difference, particularly class, caste, gender, and disability, uh, and 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 the spatial questions related to it, which are not articulated, even today in the architectural discipline or even in the planning discipline. We try to kind of mainstream it through our courses. We have special courses for it. We do research. We have research agendas, and as a school we kind of spend a lot of time on research agenda. I want to kind of just highlight with one illustration, and I'll close it there. For example, we have a specific course on repair and retrofit. We have a country which is full of old housing stock, but we are only talking about building new houses to address the housing problem. But there is a context for repair and retrofitting, and no engineering college or architecture college offers a course on repair and retrofitting in this country. We decided to kind of develop such a course, provide such a course. And then while doing this course, we kind of realized that the moment policy, and if you speak through the policy language, there is a lot of repair and retrofit happening on ground. It has some problems, and it is completely organized by the community, by the community at the local level. If you try to kind of make policy enter into it, or state enter into it through standards and norms, it will it will break, it will crack, because it is precarious. It is kind of, it remains in a very in a very interesting awkward way actually. So while we train our students for repair and retrofit, we think of a uh, the ecosystem development model. And I think I want to underline this, the ecosystem. And and and, and it becomes very very interesting now, because then we can set up a platform, not necessarily an online website based, but even WhatsApp and Facebook based. Because and if we kind of allow ourselves to say that there is a lot of innovation and experimentation that happens amongst local contractors who are doing so many new experiments and innovations in repair and retrofit, that they can share what they are doing. So what happens is, if we set up this large mega group of of local contractors, where we as architects enter, and figure out a way to kind of using technology to kind of you know set up this ecosystem, uh, where we there is no discourse which is kind of getting made on one direction, but it's a shared knowledge system that kind of that 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 grows with the network really. So I think we are more and more inclined towards, and with the break of the university, I think in the post university, in an autodidactic world, I think a shared idea of developing knowledge and growing in the education field is something which one can think of and experiment with. And I think there is enough capacity to do that, and technology can be mobilized for that. Thank you very much.